Picture this. You've spent over a decade absolutely mastering your craft. You've built an airtight portfolio, you've worked with massive, recognizable clients, and then you join Upwork. You're ready to offer top-tier expertise to the world, right? Well, instead, you find out you actually look less trustworthy than a complete beginner who just happens to have, two cheap platform contracts. Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking the Upwork cold start paradox, why it happens, and exactly how you beat it.
So our central question for today is this. Can 10+ years of real-world expertise actually break through the daunting algorithmic barrier of a totally blank profile? Does the platform actually reward your professional expertise from day one, or is it exclusively rewarding platform history? It's a hugely critical distinction for anyone trying to transition their career, or maybe their whole agency, onto this massive marketplace. I mean, we're talking about a platform that recently saw over $4 billion in client spend.
It's literally the ultimate cold start paradox. Outside the platform, you are a fully vetted professional. You've got recognizable clients, a rock-solid professional rate. But inside that interface, to a client, you're a flashing warning sign. 0 earnings, 0 reviews, and absolutely no job success score. See, Upwork just doesn't treat your external tenure as equivalent to their internal platform reputation. Because of that, as an experienced newcomer, you aren't just competing on the quality of your work. You are competing against a massive platform-level risk signal.
All right, moving into our next section, the proposal funnel, where experience waits. Understanding the mechanics of how clients actually view your applications is step 1 to solving this whole cold start problem. Check out this base model funnel. Now, this is a central estimate we pulled from public platform rules and observed user behaviors, but wow, is it revealing. Let's say you send out 100 targeted proposals. According to the model, only about 18 of those might actually be fully opened by a client. 18 out of 100. From there, it drops again to 4.3 interviews, resulting in just 1.2 hires. That is a massive, immediate cliff right at the starting line. The crucial takeaway here is that a proposal can fail at multiple, distinct stages. Your brilliant, decade-long portfolio? It literally doesn't matter if the client never even opens your application. You have to remember, clients are previewing your headline, your rate, and the first couple of lines of your proposal in this tiny little window. If those opening lines don't instantly neutralize their hesitation about your 0 earnings profile, boom, they reject you right from the preview. You are filtered out before your expertise can even enter the conversation.
Okay, so let's shift gears and talk about the entry economics, the cost of applying, which really needs to be viewed as a quantifiable, paid experiment rather than just a guaranteed job hunt. Upwork uses a system called Connects, which fundamentally turns your job search into a customer acquisition cost. According to official Upwork facts, Connects cost 15 cents each. Now, exact proposal prices are dynamic, but they often average around 12 Connects. So sending 100 proposals is going to cost you roughly $180 if you don't boost. But what if you use a moderate boosting strategy to, try and win one of those top promoted slots? Well, then that cost jumps to over $400 for those same 100 proposals. And remember, that is pure cash out of pocket. Oh, and let's not forget the 25 hours of unpaid labor writing all those custom cover letters, all before you see a single cent in return. It's quite an entry tax.
Which brings us to surviving the 0 result streak. To get through this initial friction, we really have to separate the emotional sting of rejection from the cold, hard mathematical reality of platform probabilities.
See, a lot of highly skilled professionals will send out 10 or 20 proposals, hear absolute crickets, and immediately assume their skills just aren't valued. But these analytical models, which, just to be clear, are modeled estimates, not official Upwork statistics, show why giving up early is a total statistical trap. If you send just 10 proposals, your base probability of landing a contract is only around 11%. Expecting success that early, it's just completely unrealistic. You don't even reach a coin flip 50% chance until you approach 50 proposals. And to hit a highly confident 80 to 90% probability, you're looking at sending between 130 and 190 targeted applications.
And community observations from successful agency owners and freelancers absolutely back this up. High variance in those initial 0 result streaks, they are totally, completely normal parts of the process. In fact, tons of high-earning users talk about spending hundreds of dollars on Connects and waiting weeks just to secure their very first real conversation. Like one agency owner noted, reinvesting funds into Connects early on was essentially just the required risks to establish their profile. Ultimately, it's about boring, unsexy persistence.
Next up, scams, ghosting, and the pricing dilemma. Because if you're sending dozens of proposals and still hearing crickets, we have to look at why that funnel leaks and what external factors might be sabotaging your conversion rates. Turns out, it's rarely just about your skills. Freelancer anecdotes repeatedly warn that your conversion rates are going to be heavily distorted by the quality of the jobs themselves. You might be burning connects on inactive listings where the client just, abandoned the hiring process entirely. You also have to watch out for clients who end up hiring externally, or even worse, blatant scams demanding free sample work under the guise of an interview. One community anecdote even highlighted a freelancer who quit the platform entirely, just completely frustrated from clients demanding free work without ever intending to hire. These inactive or bad faith jobs just eat your budget and totally skew your personal data.
This whole situation creates a massive pricing dilemma for newcomers. Do you charge your true professional rate, say $100 an hour, which defends your value but makes you a really expensive risk for a client looking at a profile with 0 views? Or do you temporarily slash your rate to $30 or $40 an hour, strictly to offset the client's risk and just buy that foundational first review? Now, discounting might get you in the door faster, sure, but it also risks attracting weak, difficult clients who might ultimately leave a poor rating, damaging your crucial job success score before it even gets off the ground.
Okay, let's look at the decision matrix. Continue, pivot, or leave. With money burning and time ticking, you need clear, data-backed checkpoints to decide your next move, rather than just relying on blind motivation. You can't just keep throwing connects into the void.
By carefully tracking your funnel, you can actually pivot effectively. For instance, let's say you have 0 profile views after 25 proposals. Well, your problem is at the very top of the funnel. You absolutely must rewrite your opening lines because clients aren't even getting past the preview. Now, if you hit 50 proposals with a few views but no interviews, you probably need to narrow your niche and stop pitching as a broad generalist. But if you reach 100 highly targeted proposals and you've spent hundreds of dollars with absolutely 0 results, it might be time to pause. At that point, you either need to rebuild your targeting entirely from scratch or seriously consider leaving the platform.
So what does this all mean? After analyzing the models, the corporate filings, and the deep community evidence, the inescapable conclusion is this: real-world experience absolutely helps you win the job and deliver great work once you're actually in the room. But platform reputation, those reviews, that job success score, your earnings history, that is the algorithmic gatekeeper to being seriously considered in the first place. Upwork is definitely a viable channel, but entry is neither free nor fast.
As you map out your freelance journey, you really have to look at this objectively. Can you commit to the 100 proposals, the hundreds of dollars in connects, and the weeks of 0 result variance required to train their algorithm that you are a safe bet? You really have to ask yourself, is building this specific digital trust worth the upfront tax, or is your hard-earned expertise better spent on channels where your decade of experience speaks for itself from day one? The choice is entirely yours.